What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review. We've been suffering some technical difficulties. It is 10:10, so we wanted to start because there is Media Madness tonight. Mike's over there playing with his thing.
Oh, I was trying to get ready. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we are here. I moved the microphone from where it normally is down there because all of you said you could hear me better when the microphone's here, but I don't want the microphone here because it will cover this boy's face. So we have the microphone here. So hopefully you guys can hear us a little bit better. I brought the gain up a little bit so you can hear him. You better talk loud. And
how loud do I have to talk?
Just about that. About time. So wait, are you on your road dog or are you on your name? Eagle. Eagle is Jason Walters, by the way. Welcome, by the way. Welcome, by the way. Live. We are here. I'm making sure everything's running. Everything's running good. Now he's back on Road Dog. So he's just gonna purposely keep switching back and forth. Doesn't matter, both of them are mods anyway. So we're here today. We have the comics. We got some books. We did a lot on Frontline. I just want to take a moment, as we always do, pre-show, so everybody can slowly come in. Now I'm what?
You have a physical book.
I don't need it. It's right there on your picture.
My email.
Oh, you don't have that?
No.
I'll go get that in a moment. So, anyway, pre-show, so everybody can stream in. But again, now over on Frontline tonight, Jay, Kat, and I think others will be talking The Death of Superman. That is coming out August 7th. I will have the DVD then, DVD Blu-ray combo. What's up, Sleepy Reader? Welcome in. So I will be watching it, reviewing it. If this one's here, he'll watch it and review it. I don't know where he is anymore. But if he's here, we'll watch it, we'll review it, we'll talk about it right here as a video. Also, this week, Jay and I did DC comic previews for the month of October of this year. And Mike Spiderslayer did Marvel for this year. I believe Jay is going to be doing more tomorrow, so keep an eye out on Comic Frontline. There's going to be some live shows coming. I love doing live shows. They're always fun. I even did a pre-show yesterday for Frontline Live 210. It was a lot of fun. It was very busy day. I'm actually thinking about doing something for Brooklyn Boys at some point. Might involve a tent. Just don't know how I would acclimate said tent yet. How I would make it work. But give me a month or two, and I'll figure something out. And no, we are not going camping. And no, we can't go camping in the city. So what can we do at a tent? Need to think on that. Anyway, beside that, all the normal stuff's up. On Brooklyn Boys, we have two videos that are up right now. Monday, I did a Pokemon Evolution Stone unboxing, if you want to call it that. And then today, actually, in the morning, we put up another Pokemon card opening video. We have a bunch waiting. I didn't put it up on What the Card yet. It will go up. But we have a bunch of videos archived. I think this weekend we probably will do a 360. Also on Comic Frontline, you will look forward to Ask Spidey. We're working on that as we speak. So we got a lot of fun stuff coming our way, provided this one is around. If this one's around, we'll have most of it done. If not, then I can only do as much as I can on my own because you're sitting here and not saying a word, so I have no clue what you're doing.
You're talking. You're saying what I was going to say. So
what are you going to say? Go ahead, say it, because I'm going to take a sip of my Superman coffee.
We said it all last night, basically, or on Monday.
Well, it's a pre-show.
Yeah. Oh, I did video on my Duroc 18 channel. That's really all I can say.
Oh, Eagle asked how you doing.
Good. Everything's good.
We actually will be doing, oh, I forgot. I'm looking right at it, too. We will be doing another video for Brooklyn Boys. I just remembered this week from Nintendo. We have one of the two games that came out this week that we got. The other one is a little delayed. It'll be here Friday. So we might actually have a video for you guys on Friday from Brooklyn Boys, which is in 2 days. So look forward to that. Anyway, oh, and one last thing, and then we're going to start this review. We are officially members of the DC Universe streaming service, so we will be getting the streaming service come this fall. I'm really looking forward to talking about that. That actually is what won the poll. For those of you that didn't know, I had a poll going on. I could bring one show back. Which would you like? Anime Weekly to return, or a new show, which would be the DC Universe? Basically take this week from Nintendo and mash it up with the DC Universe streaming service. So basically, it's going to be called This Week from the DC Universe. That's a tentative title. It could change. I might more than likely change it, and it'll be once a week on Comic Frontline. More than likely, it will be on either the opposite, like if I'm doing the reviews, if we're doing the review on Monday, it'll be on Wednesday, and if we're doing the review on Wednesday, it'll be on Monday or earlier on Wednesday. I don't know. I've got to work everything out, and it's all the way in September, so very tempted by the DC streaming service. I got to be honest, the streaming service, well, I got to run. All right, Eagle, thank you for popping in at the beginning. I got to admit, Sleepy Reader, I really, I was on the fence. I wasn't going to get it after watching the Titans trailer, but $75, 15 months, $5 a month, essentially. I'll know within the 15 months if I want to continue the service or not, but it's going to have everything that we like, from the animated series we like, the animated movies that we like, to the movies we used to watch, TV shows we used to watch, live action, and there's going to be original content such as Swamp Thing, Harley Quinn. There's going to be an adult Harley Quinn cartoon series, and there's going to be Doom Patrol, and like I said, Titans is starting us all off, and Young Justice Season 3, which could potentially lead into 4, 5, etc., etc., etc. So I'm interested. I want to see. And then also there's some comics. The big comics will also be available through the streaming service. So I have to. As a matter of fact, I'm debating. We couldn't get a whiteboard on the wall. We talked about this last week. I'm debating about getting a computer monitor, and instead of putting it on the wall, attaching it, getting a longer one, because the whiteboard wasn't long enough, but getting a longer computer monitor and seeing if I could hook it up to the bottom of the shelf instead. I tried that with the whiteboard. It didn't work. But with a computer monitor, it would work, especially because there's something you can put in the wall that makes it like swivel. And also, Cindy took my whiteboard now. So, but anyway, Justin, what's up? I'm looking forward to the streaming service, and we're going to be getting the Disney streaming service when that comes out for multiple reasons. Number one, Marvel. Number two, my son. He loves Disney, especially Disney Junior right now. So yeah, we're going to get Disney. And we already have Netflix, Hulu, WWE now. I mean, why not? The only thing we're honestly missing right now is MLB TV. And to be quite honest, I don't have time to keep up with baseball, with everything else going on. So I'm excited for what's going to be happening with the DC streaming service. So we're going to get started. It is officially 10:17 or 10:18 now. Mike, oh no, I just turned to 10:18. Thank you all for popping in. Jeremy Renfro, I don't know if I said hello, but I'm going to say hello again. Welcome in. I don't expect a big crowd tonight because, like I said, Jay and Kat are going to be doing the Death of Superman over on Comic Frontline. They've already released teasers for the Reign of Superman. Very excited about that. Very, very excited about that. That's going to be a fun beginning to 2019, but I don't want to rush time. I'm just going to be very happy that we have the Death of Superman, which is part 1, and we'll get to the Reign when we get to it. But it looks really, really nice. If you guys didn't see it, it's on YouTube. There's a trailer or a teaser. It's what's going to be on the Death of Superman. At the end of each of the movies, they put a little teaser in. You're going to have a teaser for the Reign of Superman, and I'm excited. All right. We're going to start with the independent books, and we're going to start with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Dude.
Oh,
it came out.
When did they come out, Michael? How many do we have?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't count this week?
No.
Okay. When did they come out?
Well, it came out July 18, 2018. I'm rushing here.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 29. Shattered Grid. I believe we only have 2 more issues for Mighty Morphin. There's only 1 more issue for Go-Go that connects to Shattered Grid. And I like this issue. I like how it connected to Go-Go Power Rangers. Just started doing podcasting. And I saw Jeremy. Really cool. I like how it connected to Go-Go. 15? We have 15 books this week. 5 less than we had last.
16 because you forgot to bring
16. So we have 4 less than we had last week. I like how it connected to Go-Go. I like the artwork. I like that the Rangers got together in the end of the issue, all the Rangers that survived. And now basically they're planning to take Lord Draken on one-on-one. And I'm really excited to see now the battle is about to start. It's going to be very interesting. And I'm really interested to see how Kimberly, the Ranger Slayer, makes it from the Go-Go era back to the Mighty Morphin era or back to Lord Draken's time to fight him and stop him.
Did you get my physical while I do this?
Yes, I plan to.
Shadowman issue.
I'm going to put this down
5.
here. Hopefully y'all can hear us good. I'm going to bring the gain up a little bit higher.
So in Shadowman issue number 5, it talks about a different character, and Jack Boniface they talk about in this book. I couldn't remember the name last time on Frontline Live, and they talk about his life being as a slave during slavery and all that stuff. So he talks about how he got the Loa, and how he became Shadowman, how it actually came to him. So to say, I was actually brought to him by whatchamacallit, can't remember what her name is. Sandria, which was his lover and all that, and she was dead. So after they killed him, he comes back to life from the grave and wreaks havoc from what they did to him. And yeah, it all said and done there, and that's the beginning. So we don't know if that's the end of his origin, or maybe he'll go into another Shadowman origin. But I was actually interested, and really like that they talked about his origin story in that comic book issue.
Hopefully y'all can hear us good. Let us know. Hello, Cookie. Star Trek Next Generation continuing with the Mirrorverse, continuing with the Next Generation, which I am very happy with that. Terra Incognita issue number 1. Barclay from the Mirrorverse takes over the main universe, Barclay's life, and I laughed every time. The Hood, which is an actual starship, needed help from Geordi. Let that sink in for a moment. At first, I thought that they were making really bad jokes, and then I realized, oh, shoot, that's the name of the ship, the Hood. So they're bringing, why did I forget? They're bringing Vulcans to a peace meeting, and their ship breaks down, and apparently Barclay goes with them. Barclay in the main universe is a dope, so nobody really listens to him. Nobody really pays attention to him. There was a whole episode dedicated to Lieutenant Barclay and the fact that he lives in the holodeck. I remember that episode. It was a very good episode. You couldn't tell whether he was in the holodeck or reality until the very end, where he actually deletes all of his stuff and walks. Anyway, and he knows what's going on because it was common in his universe, but obviously not common in the main universe. And in the end, he kind of, through manipulation, forces, whether because they wouldn't listen to him, he kind of forces, the fact that he knows what's going on and fixes it. And he's kind of building up Barclay's credibility, so to speak. But Barclay is still a prisoner to him. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. Obviously, we're going to get the Mirrorverse back at some point. Right. They're going to come back for him.
Ice Cream Man issue number 5. Been a really long time since Ice Cream Man came out. I believe probably in like 2 or 3 months.
Hey, don't worry. Saga's taking a year off after this week's issue.
There you go. And it just talks about a guy, and it's just one story, just simply a guy who's
committing
suicide by falling off a very, very high-story building, whereas stuff inside's going on where Valerie's like the main character of who they're going after and stuff like that, and everyone is just acting like really, really weird in some sense, like decapitation and all that. And as he's falling, he's just saying like all this, like that's what it really was. It was just all the way through until he plummeted. And then it talks about this new character that's going to be making a debut, some sheriff character. So it looks like he's going to be probably the main antagonist of the book, and we'll see where it goes from there. So I don't know what to think of it. Like, it was all average, I guess. I mean, it's just showed that
Buffy the Vampire Slayer: The Reckoning, the season 12 miniseries, issue number 2. First issue, this is definitely better than the first issue, but I feel like there was such a deep exposition here, explaining everything that's going on to the sisters about their brother who's in the present trying to destroy the future, and time travel, and characters, and what's happened before, that they're going to go back to the present and fight, and apparently everybody dies except for Willow in this dark future, and now they're looking to undo that or to fix that, and it's we got to see where it's going. I don't know. I feel a little disconnect from this arc, and I can't put my finger on why. I just feel a disconnect, and it's weird because I didn't really particularly like the beginning of season 12 for Buffy, but now I feel like I'm disconnected as well, and I can't understand why I feel that way. Maybe it's because they're touching on stuff that happened in previous seasons that I didn't read. But I'll continue to read it, of course. I'm going to see what happens with Reckoning. It is weird that all of a sudden, at the snap of a finger, her and Spike have broken up. Angel and Fred are dating or together now. A lot of stuff just shook up when we were, between arcs.
Okay. WWE issue number 19. The Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn story continues, as well as the whole Sami Zayn turning over a new leaf and becoming the bad guy on the show, thanks to Kevin Owens and all that stuff.
Of course.
So, yeah. So, with that, Kevin Owens saying, you shouldn't let the booing bother you. It just brings more noise in and yada, yada, yada. Then this little boy who admired Sami Zayn got an autograph from him, but the father whispered saying that he didn't see the whole stunt that was pulled with what he did with Kevin Owens. So, it's just all that he comes down. He's trying to ignore all that's going on. So Shane McMahon is actually having a talk with them because they didn't, get in the tag team match because this was Team Raw's Team SmackDown at Survivor Series. So they have a little bit of a thing with him as they screwed him over with the Team SmackDown matches, and that caused them to lose. So then he's saying, well, I have 2 words for you, and, well, it didn't say what the next word was because to be continued. So it's probably where they got fired, and then they moved to Raw, and, we probably already know the story.
I don't know why they were repeating what literally has happened only a few months ago.
I don't know. Only time will tell, but we already know, I guess, I know what's going to happen probably, but we'll see how they do it.
I know what happens, too.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. We're in Marvel now. We're in the big 2, and we're starting with my least favorite book, and makes me question why I caved and did this. Claws of a Killer, issue number 3 for the Hunt for Wolverine, the penultimate issue, and this is the weakest and least important of all the crossovers so far for the Hunt for Wolverine. As a matter of fact, I can't even understand how this. I mean, I know how it's part of the Hunt for Wolverine, but if there wasn't only one issue left, I would drop it immediately. But if I could go back, I'll say this, if I could go back in time and stop myself from buying one of the 4 minis, this one would be it. Followed by Weapon Lost, because that's another one that's about Albert, the cybernetic clone of Wolverine, not Wolverine. The other 2 are pretty good. Madripoor and Adamantium Agenda, both of them are very good. It's just these 2 really were. And we're going to get an alpha or a main one-shot issue with the Return of Wolverine before we get the miniseries, 6-part miniseries bringing Wolverine back as well. Another book that, of course, ended the only way Marvel could, leading into the event instead of actually ending the prequel to the event, and that is Infinity Countdown issue number 5. And I got to agree with Jay. First, Black Widow goes to Doctor Strange for help, and he says, you got to keep that Infinity Stone a mile away. I don't even want to know where you're going. We shouldn't know where we are. We all have to guard the stones, and we have to keep them apart. At the end of the issue, he called for everybody who has a stone to come meet with him. Not only kind of hypocritically, going back on the words he said to Black Widow in the middle of the issue, but also calling for the other stones to be brought into the same location. So they can all get taken all at once, because he wants to have a meeting of the Guardians of the Stones. Whoop. Doggy, come on, and then of course you have Drax, who goes to protect I forgot what stone was it? Was it the Time Stone? One of the stones, but anyway, he goes to protect one of the stones with Kang and Adam Warlock. Mora gets pissed off and wants to chase after because the soul gem, because her soul is in it, and she wants to get a piece of her soul back. And we also get to see in the soul gem the final fate of Hank Pym's soul, or whatever piece of his soul is in the soul gem. And it wasn't exactly a happy ending for that. We find out also at the very beginning of the book, the whole setups that we've been getting, those one-page setups, sets up for the character we're going to be seeing in the one-shot, the Prime one-shot. and then leads into the Infinity event. I will not be getting Infinity physically. I unfortunately already pre-ordered Prime, so I will be getting Infinity Prime this week physically. This book was all over the place and back again. So Gamora gets pissed off at the Guardians. The Guardians basically separate. That's why we're not going to have Guardians of the Galaxy anymore. We're going to have Asgardians of the Galaxy. And every time I say that, I feel like I'm saying Asgards of the Galaxy. But beside the point, Gamora's gone her way. Drax has gone his way. And Groot, Rocket, and Peter are still semi-together. So I kind of feel bad that the Guardians have broken up. But obviously Marvel did this so we can have Asgardians of the Galaxy. Of course. Speaking of Asgard, Thor, issue number 3. They're still in Niflheim, or the plane of the dead. They're in Hell. And Hela is back now, and the only way to make Hell, to bring peace, whatever peace is in Hell, back, Loki comes up with the plan. Let's marry Hela and Balder. And before we start with the wedding, and then we get a flashback to where they're fighting and they're wanting to kill each other back and forth. Finally, we then get back to the wedding because Loki makes this decision because of the uprise that's happening, and Hell is about to be. I mean, not to be ironic, but there's a hellstorm coming. And then at the end of the issue, Thor knows he has to go to Valhalla, and the only way to do that is for him to die, because he's a hero. So all virtuous heroes go to Valhalla. So Loki finds a way to kill Thor. And I like what Thor said to Loki, that, I want to hate you. I really do. No matter how hard I try, I'll always love you because you're my brother. And then he gets stabbed. But anyway, he's in Valhalla. Thanos shows up, of all people, because apparently Thanos is engaged to Hela because she's Death. I always thought he was just engaged to Death, but I have no clue. But Thanos is there, and now he has a few things he wants to say to the groom, which is Balder, because Hela is apparently spoken for by Thanos. Of course, Thanos is going to be now everywhere because of not only the movies, but the upcoming event. We'll see where this goes. I already dropped Hulk. Seawood, what's going on, my friend? Welcome in. I don't know where I'm going to be with Thor. Right now, I'm sticking with it because I want to see that future story. And that starts at issue 5. So that means we have one more part to this, and then we're going to jump into the future. After that, we'll see if I'm going to move this to a casual read or whatnot. But I'm enjoying it. I'm not saying I don't enjoy it. It's just I think at a slower pace, like the way I was reading Mighty Thor with Jane Foster, that's how I should be reading this. 2 more issues until we get... Exactly. So I'm waiting for those 2 more issues. 2 more, that's right. We're on issue 3. 2 more. Tony Stark Iron Man, issue number 2. This was one of my favorite books this week. I like how every character has a little story going on, from the android who just wants to be kind of accepted into the group to the Tinkerer we saw from the first issue. He had a crush on Tony Stark's mom without knowing it was Tony Stark's mom. Rhodey still has PTSD from all the times he died as War Machine and doesn't want to be in the armor. He kind of freaks out when he's in it. Tony's dealing with somebody stealing his ideas and his plans. And also we find out that thanks to the controller, it's the security guard who's trying to figure out who is breaking into Stark Industries and stealing all their ideas. And she doesn't know it's her yet. There were a lot of high points in this. I think Rhodey's story was the strongest. It started off with him having that nightmare, and it ended with him telling Tony, look, I don't want to be War Machine right now. Probably never want to be War Machine again, but for right now I don't. I'd rather have a joystick than a suit on. And I could understand how Rhodey feels. I agree with Jay that it was really happened in 1 issue. I would have liked it to be stretched out a little bit more, but we don't know what Dan Slott has planned. I will say this, though, and after hearing the solicits yesterday from Mike, I had made my top 5 already, and I still feel this was where it belonged on my top 5. I believe it had its rightful place, but Arno Stark is coming back. I don't know if I will be reading Iron Man. I mean, Thor will be moved to a casual read, but the last time we had Arno Stark in an Iron Man book, let's just say things did not go well. So I don't know. Mike, you're actually being cut off this whole time. I didn't even realize. I cut the screen sideways, and I didn't even realize you were being cut off a little bit. I don't know where I'm going to be.
Got no room.
It's okay. I'm going to move.
Yeah, move here.
I'm sorry, everybody. You're going to hear some thumping. I don't know where I'm going to be when that issue of Thor comes out. I will say that I don't know how I feel about future Thor issues. We'll see. Future Iron Man issues. Thor will probably be in my casual read. 2 more. Yeah, we got that. I read that. Now, I saw Bendis Superman. Did he forget Oz Effect ending? Because this feels like Marvel Bendis not caring. Jeremy, I don't know if somehow Jor-El is brought back after Doomsday Clock. Remember that Doomsday Clock should have been almost over by now. Should have been almost over by now. If not, getting to that point where we would be getting that last part to the story. It went from being a monthly series to a bi-monthly series, or was it always a bi-monthly? But beside the point, it went from being a monthly series, now it's bi-monthly, so it's every other month, and we're still at the very beginning of this miniseries, so it's like a piece of the story, a character spotlight. We have new Rorschach, another piece of the story. Now we're going to get a spotlight on the Harlequin group, and I don't know if I'm going to like that at all, but beside that, then we'll get more story in another 2 months. I'm hoping that they catch up with themselves and they start bringing this out monthly, because I feel like a lot of how did Thomas Wayne survive from the Flashpoint Earth? We don't know that either, and he was in Batman issue number 50. That's my point. I don't think it's Bendis ignoring the Oz Effect. I think it's the ramifications of Doomsday Clock, possibly, and we don't know it yet. And what bothers me is I was hoping through Doomsday Clock, especially because in the first issue, Superman was dreaming about Jonathan and Martha Kent. I was hoping those were the parents we were going to get back, not Jor-El, of all people. I mean, it could still happen. I don't know. But yeah, turn monthly thanks to Metal. Right, exactly. And then Metal ended on a sore note. Now Doomsday Clock is being delayed. Now, this is a book I'm done with. Avengers issue 5. It's all over the world and back again. I can't stand. Look, I'll still look through this book because I love Ed McGuinness's artwork. I will say that I'm not going to not look through Avengers. I will until McGuinness leaves, and I think he's only there for the first arc anyway. After that, I'm not even going to look through Avengers anymore. There was just this Celestial thing it's dragging. And She-Hulk is in a weird way. Apparently, her and Thor are now supersized, and Ghost Rider possesses one of the dead Celestials and becomes one of the big. And Captain America, and Loki's still the bad guy. Well, we all know Loki's the bad guy. But my tolerance for where they're going with Avengers has officially ended. So I'm done with Avengers. I don't want to be done with Avengers, but there's nothing. I'm not interested in what happens next anymore. It's all over the place and back again. So this is me dropping Avengers. I always drop. I mean, Avengers. It's rare that I actually end up holding on to an Avengers series. New Avengers was a lot of fun, but that was before my time as far as a reviewer. Dark Reign happened, I believe, as I started doing my comic reviews. So we already missed New Avengers, but it was a lot of fun, New Avengers, but I digress. Avengers, not for me. Not for me. And that sucks because I literally just didn't, I think, how many books from Marvel that I didn't enjoy? Avengers, Iron Man, I'm worried about the future. Thor might be moving to a casual read just because I want to read it slower, and then Claws of a Killer. We want to talk about a waste. All right, but this one was good. This one finally deviated. DC needs to get their schedule straight. Also, I can't keep holding out on King's Batman now for another 50 issues of this. Look, Jeremy, I'll be fair here. I think I've been enjoying Tom King's writing. And right now, Tom King is not even acknowledging Catwoman anymore now. Well, he is, because this is the ramifications of their not getting married. But I feel like there's other stories that he's telling while getting through this epic 100-issue thing, which is technically 50 because Batman comes out twice a month, so it's going to take half the time. So in X amount of months, we'll have, like, I believe it only took a year to get us the. Let's see, if we do this for another, there's 12 months, so we got a couple of years still to go to get another 50 issues. We got about another 3 or 4 years. Either way, Tom King has a plan, and obviously he has several year plan. And I'm going to stick around and see where it goes. I like how this art... Well, I'm talking about Batman. I have it in this week's pile. We'll talk about Batman further. But Weapon H issue number 5, finally deviating from Damage, which I will talk about that also. I like Weapon H. I feel like Weapon H, like what Jay was saying on Frontline Live, has the more human feel to it, where Damage kind of just feels like the Raging Hulk. Weapon H, he's captured by Roxxon. The guy tries to get him to work with him, willingly. And he doesn't really truly explain himself correctly before Nathan kind of says, go to hell. And then they try to, basically they're going to scramble his brains and make him into, a mindless monster. And the wife and the scientists who've been working together to find Nathan are now at Roxxon, so they shut the power down. He breaks free. He frees Man-Thing and the Kree. Oh, wow, really? That's the next issue we're talking about? That's hilarious. He breaks them free. They fight their way through, and then they meet up with his girlfriend. He powers down. They have that moment, and then the boss comes in and says, Nathan, I know who you are now. And this isn't me threatening you. Let me explain finally. And then he finally explains that he's a jerk, but he's not really a jerk with bad intentions. He doesn't want to use Weapon H to kill people. He wants to use Weapon H because he done screwed up. They've been siphoning power from a different universe, and the monsters on that universe want to break through. So now it's up to Weapon H to fight them off and to save the world and hopefully close the portal so Roxxon can't get the energy anymore. And at the same time, we don't have to worry about monsters breaking into the Marvel Universe. Really cool. I like how the girlfriend at the very end, Sonya, says, get him, Weapon H, and he hulks out. I like it. I think I'm going to be sticking with Weapon H out of the two right now. Can he explain how Gotham and Gotham Girl, how they got their powers? Because that would be nice. Gotham overpowering Supes. 1D and Flash, there's something more. I really don't care at this point with Gotham Girl, because Gotham is dead, and Gotham Girl, the more she uses her powers, the faster she dies. So she won't be using her powers often unless they find a cure for her. So I don't know. Gotham Girl, I didn't like that first arc. I will admit that, Jeremy. It was kind of weird for me. I didn't really care for that. Gomez, comic collector, what is going on? What's going on? Welcome in. So we're moving into DC Comics, and we're starting with Metal, as we always do. And we were just talking about Damage issue number 7. Now, this book kind of went the opposite direction as Weapon H. Weapon H is moving up. Damage is moving down. Basically, he's fighting off against the, what are they called? The bounty hunters that are chasing after him that were enlisted by the woman who runs the program that created Damage. And basically the whole book is him as Damage, because Damage apparently is a different persona, fighting these paparazzi, one of them's called paparazzi, fighting the bounty hunters and essentially getting away from them. Haven't read Damage. I won't spoil too much then. Long story short, they disengage, he gets free and escapes, sort of, and the ship that they were on sinks. The survivors were all being taken to the hospital, Damage being one of the people being taken to the hospital. I don't know where I'm going to stand with Damage. I'm going to stick around for another couple of months. I know that Damage is going to be doing a versus the Justice League in October. Stick around for that. In October, by the way, I forgot to mention this on the pre-show. October, they're doing the special covers again for the main titles. And this time around, they're going to be doing enhanced foil covers. So they're not doing lenticulars anymore. They're making them foil. So they're going to be shiny. They're going to be like singular colored. And I'm actually looking forward to that. I know there's going to be one for Green Arrow and Red Hood, which are two of Mike's faves. And then Damage and all the other main Metal books will also be getting them, and other books as well. I think we're going to do what we do every time DC does it. But I'm ordering it from Midtown, because Midtown will at least release them weekly. DCBS charges all at once. That's the one downside. So we're definitely going to be getting all the foil covers in October. I will on Comic Frontline do a showcase of all the foil covers when they are fully out. So probably the beginning of November, I will have a foil showcase with all of the foil covers there. But anyway, that was Damage. I'm on the fence with Damage, but I probably will remain on the fence with Damage at least until we get to the the Justice League. I had a hiccup there. When we get to that, then it'll prove whether I fall off or stay on. But reminder now, Vertigo starting in October. Actually, no, it's starting actually in September and continuing with newer issues in October. There's some other stuff starting up. Black Label starting in September. A lot of stuff coming. So cuts are going to have to start being made somewhere. I read Super Son of Tomorrow. Loved it, man. I wish Mossy could just kept doing his thing. I know, man. Oh, you're talking about Super Sons that came out this week? I'm not talking about anything this week yet. Haven't even looked at anything this week yet. I purposely don't look at anything until I finish the reviews. So, Mike?
All right, this is for Frontline. Injustice versus Master of the Universe, issue number 1. The 2 crossovers of DC Comics. And I have to admit, though, this was like a really epic issue where it talks about how the Injustice team are in need of He-Man to stop Superman, because since Superman's been known as the High Counselor and has been doing all his killings and whatnot, they think that He-Man, being the strongest, oh, by the way, this takes place after He-Man Thundercats, by the way, where he reveals his identity that he's Prince
Super
Adam.
Sons trade that was released. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I got you, Jeremy.
Yeah, where he released that Prince Adam is He-Man. So as they tell him the story about how they could stop him, also that Superman is in control with Brainiac also, he becomes He-Man to actually go with them after he was having permission to go to Earth, because he has to go to Earth to prevent all this from happening. And we get Superman's dark side a little bit with Skeletor, who didn't see that coming, that he was alive, because we all knew he was alive after the Thundercats. We have Oracle, who goes with them as well. And the artwork, I really love the artwork in this issue. And it seems that Darkseid is going to be causing trouble for the next issues or so. So we're going to see how all this is going to be as the issue goes on. It's going to be a 6-issue miniseries, so I'll be definitely looking into all those and see how it goes.
All right. Moving back, we were just talking about this. Batman issue number 51, continuing the second part of Tom King's 100-issue art-ish thing. Cold Days. Bruce Wayne is now a juror in a jury, and his case is Batman versus Freeze. And we get to see Dick as Batman because apparently Bruce is taking a break. See, now here's where I got confused. I thought it was Dick who, number one, took over for Bruce after Bruce and Catwoman didn't get married, and I thought it was Dick that was the one that was fighting, to figure out who was killing all these women and brought Mr. Freeze in. And Bruce was just saying that Dick made a mistake because at the end of the issue, everybody's like, "Oh, Mr. Freeze is a villain. Batman brought him in. We're not going to question it. He's guilty. Put him back in Arkham." And Bruce is the only one that raises his hand and says, "No, I think Mr. Freeze is innocent." My thought process here is, and we get to see a little bit of his frustration in the bathroom with a poor urinal, but I think Bruce knows that there's something more going on here, and I think he knows that Mr. Freeze isn't the one that did murders, and that either himself in a bad state or Dick as Batman, whatever one it was, they messed up. And I like that Dick is taking over for Batman for a time again. I mean, and this time it's kind of like, it's funny because they had the whole battle for the cowl where Dick didn't want to be Batman. There was a whole fight that Dick's like, "I don't want to be Batman." Now Dick's Batman. And he literally just jumped into it at the snap of a finger this time. Now maybe there's more to the story. Maybe we didn't see it as readers. Maybe they just jumped right into when he was Batman again. But it's just funny that Dick's back. It's literally like, I'm back again. I'm Batman. Yay! But I'm interested in this arc. I'm really interested in this arc, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Tom King has in store for us with this second part to his 100-part, what would you call it? Spectacular with Batman. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And I think this is the last book, right?
Yep.
Justice. I miss not having a Superman book every week. See what Bendis did? See what Bendis did? That's one down thing that I will say Bendis did. He took away our weekly Superman book. Justice League issue number 4. I know Mike, Spider Slayer, and Cat have officially dropped this book, but Mike, Spider Slayer, and Cat have also dropped Avengers. Justice League, however, Batman and Hawkgirl get taken down by Joker and Lex Luthor, who then take over Superman and Jon Jones' mind, or inside this Matrix. Grodd tricks the Flash into accessing the Stillverse. Somehow Sinestro has destroyed Jon Stewart's ring, and now Jon Stewart is part of the what was it called again? The Ultraviolet Corps forever, and he'll never be a Green Lantern again. That's the shock factor of the book. I don't think it's true. Everybody on Frontline agreed. We have a lot going on in this book, and I liked how basically the Legion of Doom triumph. It proves that if the villains put their heads together and work together as a team without screwing up, they could take down even the Justice League. And I'm very interested to see how Superman, how the Justice League are going to stop the Legion of Doom now, because basically darkness has fallen. Lex Luthor and Joker are literally an inch away from the multiverse. What's going to happen next? I'm very interested. I guess it's because I've always been a fan of Justice League. I'm sure if I was more a fan of the Avengers, the script would be turned and I'd be sticking with the Avengers and dropping the Justice League. Maybe. I don't know. But the Justice League story definitely speaks to me. Let's get Jason as Batman now that he well, actually, Jeremy, if you read Red Hood and the Outlaws in the recent issue, him and Bruce are not seeing eye to eye anymore. Again, something in my eye, speaking of eye to eye. But things aren't going good for Jason Todd. But with that, that is it for this review, everybody. I don't know if Kat and Jay are on, will be on. I'm going to actually check the Discord real quick. They are probably on by now. Yes, they are. Jay and Kat have been on since 10:25, so they are probably still on talking The Death of Superman, so you can go check that out on Frontline. As always, follow us on our social media. All the links in the description for me are down below. Mike is at DudeofRock18. Also, alternatively, don't forget to check out tomorrow night, Jesse, JLS Comics live show, Comic Conversation. It's at 8:30, I believe is what Jay said. If I'm wrong, it's tomorrow night. Also, every other week, he's doing a super chat on the weekend, so you can check that out. Also, Exile State Comics, Justin does Sunday morning comics. Go check that out every Sunday morning. Be back here on Monday. Oh, and also on Friday, don't forget Reviews from the Batcave. I almost missed it. Reviews from the Batcave. We were on there 2 weeks ago. Awesome group of people talking about comics and everything. Speaking of which, the Great Legend Show has just popped in. Don't forget to check out the Great Legend. Has some really great videos. And if you're looking for some comic auctions, Great Legend has your hookup. But anyway, those are the awesome live shows you can see. Great Legend's always live. Like I was saying before, Jeremy Renfro has his live shows that he's doing on his channel again. And a bunch of stuff. Everyone I've mentioned, Gomez, Comic Collector, everyone in the comments is an active YouTuber posting videos up in the comic community. Definitely check everybody out I've mentioned. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to thank everybody who's been here with us. Justin, Exile State Comics, Jeremy Renfro, thank you so much, Jeremy. Joe Star on his name. Gomez, Comic Collector, the Great Legend popped in at the very end. Sleepy Reader 666, and we had Eagle, Road Dog Therapy, who popped in for a little bit at the very, very, very beginning. And C. Woodard 19 popped in somewhere in the middle. Thank you all so much for being here. But now if you're watching this post-live, so now we want to hear from you. What did you think about the books that came out this week? Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree, recommendations. Leave those in the comments below. Let your voice be heard. And hopefully soon, now that we're getting close to August, maybe very soon, things will be getting back on schedule where this review will be back on Monday. So look forward to that. I am now going to let you guys go. Don't forget to go check out Comic Frontline right now. The Death of Superman animated movie discussion is going on right now on Media Madness. Do not miss out on that. Thank you all so much for being here. Take care. Keep reading, keep collecting, and we will see you all in the next Dark Avenger reading.
Hey, everybody.